Okay, everyone, I know we haven't met in a couple weeks, but I wanted to go ahead and post a video on how to finish up the heel. So we're actually going to do rounds 14 through 19 and then finishing off the heel, which is underneath here. I'll show you in a little bit. So we've just finished working in the round. So this is your little sock here. If you can see it. Let me move my camera a little bit. So that's what the sock looks like so far, like a little hat. We all got to try on our hat last time. So we're going to now, instead of going around and round, so instead of going around and around like this, we're going to start going back and forth to make the heel. So we're going to be turning our work where we weren't turning before. Now, this is at the very end of the row. So this was my first double crochet, and since these first two first chain is not counting, I'm going to join it to that chain with a slip stitch. Okay, so now we're just going to go kind of back and forth. So the instructions for this are we're going to be chaining 2 and then double crochet in the next 20 stitches, and then we're going to turn. So we'll start out with 20. So we're going to start in that very first stitch right there, but first we're going to chain 2. And then we're going to go in that first stitch. So remember, it's a yarn over. Insert your hook into the designated stitch and yarn over and pull up a loop. So you have 3, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now I'm going to move my stitch marker up to that one I just made. Right there. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So yarn over, go into the next stitch, which is here, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So do that for 20 stitches. All right, it should be at 19. So remember, we're not going to count that first chain. We're going to just count this first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So one more, yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we're just going to turn our work so that we're going to go back the other way. Okay. Now for this one, we're going to do something new. We're going to chain 2, then we're going to double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then we're going to double crochet 2 together. And we're going to repeat that pattern between the asterisks here and here, right? And we're just going to keep repeating that until we finish up, and we should have 15. So I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to double crochet in the first 2 stitches, which is right there. Oops. And then the next one, the next stitch over. So that's the first 2. And now we're going to double crochet 2 together, which means we're going to basically turn these next 2 stitches into 1, right? See the next 2 stitches here. So I'm going to yarn over, go into just like a double crochet, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up 3, yarn over, and just pull through 2. So I'm just starting that first half. Then I'm going to yarn over like I'm starting another double crochet, which basically I am. Then I'm going to go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. So now I've basically done the first half of 2 double crochets. See there? So the first half of 2 double crochets, now I'm going to make it all into one because I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of these loops at once. 1, 2, 3. So instead of having, so I have like, if you look, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, it looks like double crochets, but at the top I only have 1, 2, 3 V's. So that's a decrease. Okay, so we'll do that again. We're going to continue that pattern. So yarn over, I'm going to make a double crochet, 2 of those in the next 2 stitches. So 1, the next stitch, double crochet. So that's my 2, right? 1 in each stitch. And now these 2, I'm going to double crochet together. So yarn over, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, and pull through 2. Start another double crochet in the next stitch, yarn over, and pull through 2. So there's my 2 double crochets that I've started. Now yarn over and pull through all 3. So there's the pattern that you can see. So there's 2 and 2 together with 1 V on top. Here's, not counting that first chain, here's 2 and then 2 together with its 1 V on top. So just continue on till the end of the row, and then we should have 15. Okay, so I'm down to my last grouping, so not counting the first chain. Here we are. Let me adjust the focus just a little bit here. So we are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we need 15, but we have 4 stitches left. But remember, one of those stitches is going to be a decrease. So it'll be 12, 13, 14, and then these 2 will be a decrease, so that'll be 15. So that's perfect. So here's my last little grouping. Yarn over, just do a double crochet in this stitch, a double crochet in the next stitch, and then we're going to double crochet the last 2, and you can see these are the last 2 right here together. So yarn over, start your first double crochet but don't finish it, then yarn over and start your second double crochet but don't finish it, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. So that's your 15. Now we're going to turn. All right, so here we are. Now we're going to go back the other way. All right, so now, so that's row 14 and 15 we've done. Now we're going to chain 2, and then we're just going to DC in each one across to 15. So that's easy enough. So chain 2, which doesn't count, and then we're just going to go double crochet in each stitch. Okay, I'm at 14. I forgot to tell you to mark that first double crochet. I always do. So I'm at 14. And 15. And then we're going to turn. Okay, so you can see, so this is your pocket, right? This is where your hat was, and now you're just kind of going back and forth and creating that little heel. All right, so 16 is done. We're on to row 17. So this time it's going to be another decrease. We're going to decrease this time to 10, and it's basically the same thing. Chain 2, double crochet in the, except it's double crochet in the next stitch. So 1 double crochet, and then we're going to double crochet 2 together. So that's a pattern of 3. Whereas this one up here was a pattern of 4. Right? All right, so we're going to chain 2, and then we're just going to double crochet in the very first stitch. You can mark that just to make sure. Easier said than done sometimes. There we go. So that was 1 double crochet. So now we're going to double crochet 2 together. So we're going to start a double crochet in the next stitch and go halfway. Start another double crochet in the next stitch and go halfway, and then through all 3. So double crochet, so the pattern is double crochet for 1, and then double crochet 2 together. So that's the pattern. So double crochet 1 and 2 together. This is at the very beginning, double crochet 1 and 2 together. So do that until the end of the row, same pattern, and you'll have 10 at the end. So I'm at my last 3 stitches here. So single crochet in the next stitch, and then double crochet the last 2 together. And that should leave me with 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. So that's row 17, and then row 18. We're just going to go back across without decreasing, so that's just 10. So we're going to turn. So we're going back the other way towards the blue marker. Chain 2, double crochet. So that's your first double crochet. You can move your marker up if you want. And then double crochet in each one across. So I just finished up this row of 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're all set there. And then we're going to turn our work. And so you can see that it's getting thinner across the top there. All right, this is the last row. So now we're going to do a decrease again, but this time it's going to be a little bit different, and we're going to decrease until we have only 5 stitches left. So we're going to chain 2, and then we're just going to double 2 together all the way across until we're at 5. So chain 2, and just go right into that double crochet 2 together. There's the start of 1. There's the start of the second. And then finish that out. 1 stitch. Start of 1. Start of the 2nd. And finish it out. All right. So this is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So now we finished up that heel. So the end of this row is to turn. So I'll check that off, but we are going to turn. So I'll turn it back the other way. And now to finish off the heel, what we're going to do, it says after turning, chain 1, and then we're going to slot stitch to the last stitch of the row, and this will bring the heel together. So what this looks like, hang on, I'm going to fix and lose my paper here. So we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to slot stitch. So this is the first stitch, so you can just count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're just going to slot stitch it. So we're going to pull it through the stitch, yarn over, and pull it through both loops. And see, that brings the heel together a little bit there. And it's not tight, but that's okay. All right. And then we're going to start working the rest of the stocking in rounds is what it says. So let me move that down. So it says we will begin to work the rest of the stocking in rounds. And all right, let's get through row 20 here because this can be confusing. Okay. So here we are with our little hole in the end for the stocking. And it says we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to double crochet down the side of the heel evenly. Okay, so just to get you oriented, this is the stocking. Hang on a second. This is the stocking. See? And this is the heel. And basically we're going to kind of connect this piece up a little bit. Okay? So it's almost like a boat, if you can see it. It's hard to see because my arms just aren't that long. So anyway, so we're going to chain 2. So let's just kind of get this going. So chain 2. And then it says, now we're going to double crochet down the side of the heel evenly with 2 stitches on each side of the row until you're back on the foot of the stocking. And then we're going to DC in the next 6 stitches once we get to that point. The whole thing is we're going to wind up with roughly around 44 stitches, give or take. It says having 1 or 2 more stitches is not going to really make a difference. But let's see if we can get her done here. So we're going to DC down the side of the heel evenly, 2 stitches on each side of the row until we're back at the foot. So we've chained 2. Let me get this so it's got a white background a little bit. So we've chained 2, and I'm going to take the stitch marker out. This is where the heel starts, or the foot starts. See, that starts where we were crocheting in the round. So if we were going to plan this out a little bit, we're going to double crochet in each, 2 in each. So there's 1 row, double crochet in that. Here's another row. Here's a row, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So let's say 12, so I can review that again. So we're going to put 2 in here, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So we'll just call it 12 to the bottom here. And we'll remember that for the other side because we'll want it to be even. So I've double crochet, or I've chained 2. Now I'm just going to double crochet 2 in each of those. So 1, I'm going to put a stitch marker there because that's the beginning of this row, because we're going to start crocheting in the round again. So that's 1, 2, and now I'm going to go to the next row, which is here. 3, 4. Next row is here. 5, 6. Here's the next row. 7, 8. Here's the next row. 9, 10, and this is the last row before we get to the bottom, so 11, 12. I'm at. So I'm just going to make a note on this. So we two stitch in each row down the side, so we did 12 on the side. Okay, until you're back to the foot of the stocking. Then we're going to double crochet in the next 6 stitches, and then we're going to double crochet 2 together. We're going to do that 6 times. So I'm just going to count them off. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to double crochet in the next 6 stitches after that. So that's where we'll wind up. And then we're going to go back up the side of the other side of the heel here. And we're going to do another 12, and then we'll join. So that should give us our 44, or close to it. And I'm not going to add right now. So, all right. So here we are at the base. So this is the first stitch for the base of the stocking, right? And again, we're not turning anymore. We're just going in the round. So we're going to continue on around. Let's see if I can show you this. So see, that's the stocking there. So we're just continuing on around, and then we'll go up the other side of the heel. So we're going to do 6, and then 2 together will be the pattern. So 1, 2. Sounds like somebody's racing. 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'm going to crochet 2 together. So 1, 2 together. So that'll be 7 from when we started down there. Hang on, I read the pattern wrong. You see me frogging here, right? All right, let's get back to the beginning. I'll show you where I read it wrong. Sometimes you don't know you read it wrong until you do it, and you're like, that didn't work out very well. So here's our last two that we stitched together, like going down the side of the heel. So I'm just gonna, so this is just, so now we're working on the original foot part. So I read this wrong. So we're gonna DC in the next stitch, DC in the next 6 stitches. Then we're gonna DC 2 together 6 times, and then DC in the last 6 stitches. All right, so I'll show you how that looks for real. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to do DC 2 together, and we're going to do that 6 times. That's better. So we're going to do the DC 2 together. So we're going to start 1 double crochet, but not finish it. And then we're going to go in the next stitch and start another double crochet. And then we'll finish it. So we'll do that 6 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you lose count, you can go back. They kind of look like little V stitches. So here's the single double, the single crochet. So one in each one. And this is where we started. It looks like an upside down V almost. See, this is where we started the double crochet 2 together. So there's 1, 2, sorry, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're just going to finish up DCing in the next, just a single DC in each of the next 6 stitches. So these are just regular double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here is where we start going back up the heel. So that worked out just right. So now we're just going to start going back up the heel. And again, we need 12, right? Because we were at 12 on the other side. And I think my stitch marker came out at the beginning. It did. This stitch marker was left over from the decrease. But my stitch marker came out from the top. So here it is. This is where we started. Okay, because that's the hole for the, remember the hole for the heel. So I know that's where we started. So we're going back up. So let's kind of plan this out because we need 12. So there's 2 in there, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and then we'll join it. Okay, so let's do that. So this looks like, if you kind of look at it, this is the way that we went up, so I kind of look at it sideways. So there's the first row, so let's do 2 in there, 2 double crochet, 1, and not 2 double crochet together, just 2 regular double crochet, 2, and then this is the next row, 3, 4, this is the next row, 5, 6, this is the next row, 7, 8, we'll call this one the next one, 9, 10, this is the last row, right here, 11, 12. Okay, so here we are back at our instructions. So we de-seed up the side of the heel, 2 stitches in each row, and then we're going to join to that first double crochet, and then we're going to count. So we're just going to join it with a slot stitch to that first double crochet. All right, let's count and let's see if I can give you a look at what this looks like. Okay. So that's what it looks like. So let's count and see how many we wound up with. If it's 44, it'll be a miracle, right? A Christmas miracle. All right, so here's my stitch marker where we started. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So I wound up with 42. And because I'm OCD, I want it to be 44. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to unattach that. So I know I'm at 42. So I'll just add a couple of stitches. What the heck, right? And I'm going to add them right in that little hole right there because it'll help, you know, kind of close it up a little bit. 2, 43, 44. Now my OCD is happy. And I'm just going to rejoin it. So now I have 44. So this is the toe down here and the heel right here. So now we're just going to continue to crochet around and around and around those 44 stitches. So I'm going to leave you to it. I'll do another video as we're finishing up and show you how to change colors and stuff for the white top part, you know. So we finish that round. So after this, so we're going to have rows 21 through 40. We're going to chain 2, and again, that is not going to count. And then we're just going to double crochet, and again, notice this is in round, whereas before when we were doing the back and forth, it was in rows if you look back. So whenever it says round, that means that you're going around and around in a circle. When it says rows, it means you're turning your work and you're going back and forth. So now we're just going round and round again, and then we are gonna we decided that this was 44, so we should have 44 stitches each time. And then at 40 is when I'll show you how to change to the white yarn. And then we're just going to, after that, we're just going to do half double crochets for the top half and then fasten off, and we'll make a little loop. So I'll do that in the next video. And I don't know if we're going to get together. Next week is Thanksgiving. I know we're not going to get together then, but if you want to get together sometime like after that weekend, because I'll be Christmas decorating. But if not, we'll get together in the first week of December and just check on everybody. But we should be able to finish this up next week. Thanks, you guys. Bye.